So believe it or not, apparently the Galaxy A51 was the top-selling Android phone for the first quarter of 2020, just beating out the Galaxy S20 Plus and the Galaxy A10. Now, I bought this official United States version right from the Samsung website for $399, and they do throw in the original Galaxy Buds, so I figured, hey, why not get some yellow ones? But anyways, in case you don't know some of the specs on this phone, this does have a 4000 milliamp hour battery, 4 cameras on the back. You've got a 5 megapixel depth camera, 48 megapixel main camera, a 12 megapixel ultra wide camera, and a 5 megapixel macro camera. This has an in-display fingerprint sensor. This also has Samsung Knox, which is built into the phone's hardware and software. This has 4 gigabytes of RAM, 128 gigabytes of storage, plus you can add a micro SD card up to 512 gigabytes. It's got a 6.5-inch screen, and it also has fast charging. This also comes with the Exynos 9611 processor. So let's go ahead and open it up and see what we've got. So I'm currently using Straight Talk. That's why I wanted to get the AT&T version, just to see if it works with that. I don't know, it is a little weird having this AT&T box, just because I usually buy unlocked phones. So you're gonna get terms and conditions, and it looks like an AT&T version of a quick start guide. SIM card removal tool. For some reason, Samsung loves to do these really short charging cables. Good thing is, it is USB-C. And here's your fast charging brick. Okay, so that's definitely pretty shiny. It's weird because at certain angles, it looks pretty normal, like a solid gray color. On the right-hand side is your power and volume buttons. There on the side is where your SIM card and micro SD card goes. Along the bottom is your speaker, charging port, and yes, this one does have a headphone jack. Here's a closer look at the 4 cameras on the back. And then on the front is your hole punch camera. Now when setting up this phone, you're going to get face recognition, fingerprints, pattern, PIN, and password. I'm also going to be doing a video on cases for this phone in case you're interested. This is just one that I threw on by Rinky to try to keep some of those fingerprints off the phone. This does have Wi-Fi calling. Okay, so I'm not really sure about this wallpaper, so we're definitely gonna have to change that. Here's a quick size comparison just to show you. It's basically the same size as my OnePlus 7 Pro. You can see here it does have 104 gigabytes available of the 128 gigabytes. You can see this is on One UI 2.1, Android 10. A couple things that I don't really like on Samsung phones. I like to switch the button order at the bottom. I also like to change the keyboard to the one from Google. One thing I don't like about some of these Samsung phones is when you hold down the power button, it brings up Bixby. Yeah, we're not using that. So to change that, if you just do a search for Bixby in your settings, you'll see where it says side key. You'll want to change it where it says press and hold from Wake Bixby to power off menu. Now when you double press the power button, that'll launch the camera, but you can change that to open Bixby or another app. Inside navigation in the settings, you can change it from light to dark mode. You've also got a few things to choose from under motions and gestures, such as lift to wake, double tap to wake, smart stay, smart alert, easy mute, palm swipe to capture, and swipe to call or send messages. Now the one downside to getting the AT&T version is they put quite a few AT&T apps on here, and the only one you can uninstall is AT&T ProTech. For whatever reason, they don't allow you to uninstall Facebook, but you can disable it. You've got some Google apps that are preloaded, 3 Microsoft apps, 8 different Samsung apps, and then luckily it does let you uninstall some of the other pre-installed apps like Pandora, and some of these games that I'm probably not going to play. When you swipe left on the home screen, you're going to get Bixby Home. which I kind of wish was just the Google newsfeed. But once you update it, it turns into Samsung Daily. When swiping over to the right, you're going to get this huge AT&T sort of widget. For me, I'm not going to use this, so I'm just going to delete the whole thing. Now I will mention, in order to get Straight Talk to work on this AT&T phone, I had to go into the Apn Settings. I actually just did a search online to find what the correct settings were. And I just added that and called it Straight Talk. And once I saved that, it started working normal and I got 4G LTE. And my speeds are around 65 to 70 megabits per second download and around 13 to 15 upload. Good thing is you do get full HD when using apps like Netflix. Same thing when using YouTube, you're going to get 1080p resolution. Another thing you may want to try is to swipe down on the home screen to bring up the notification shade. If you go to home screen in your settings, you can just check this where it says swipe down for notification panel. That way you don't have to reach all the way to the top of your phone. Inside the camera app, you're going to get live focus, photo. You can also switch to the wide angle lens. Video, same thing, you can switch to the wide angle. And then you've got a few other things to choose from, such as Pro, Panorama, Macro, Food, Night, Super Slow-Mo, Slow Motion, and Hyperlapse. You've also got Bixby Vision and AR Zone. Now when doing video, you can switch this from Full HD up to Ultra HD. Same thing on the front facing camera. It's got Auto HDR, Video Stabilization. Okay, so it definitely seems like a pretty decent camera. Shutter speed is fairly quick. Now I'm going to give you a few samples of photos and I'm going to show you a couple video clips just so you can get an idea of what to expect. Now, I was surprised at how good some of these photos came out. I think Samsung does a really good job at adding contrast and sharpening images, just so that you can see a little bit more detail than on some of the other phones that I've used. Just look at the detail on some of these photos. I think for a $400 phone, the main camera on this phone is really good. And I don't think you could tell that it was taken with a cheaper or mid-range phone versus a flagship. Now, for some reason, when it comes to video, the front-facing camera definitely is not as good as the rear-facing camera. To me, it seems a little bit hazy and you don't see as much detail. And that's in HD and 4K. Fingerprint scanner actually works pretty good on this. It's not quite as fast as on my OnePlus 7 Pro, but still pretty accurate. Surprisingly, these original Galaxy Buds do sound pretty good. I think the one big thing is battery life. These are only about 6 hours, where with the Galaxy Buds Plus, you're going to get about 11 hours. Now Geekbench scores on this, in case you're interested, is 348 for the single core and 1257 for the multi-core. Obviously, that's not going to compare to a lot of flagships out there, but it is just a little faster than the Galaxy A50. So in case you're wondering, this device is not compatible with Fortnite. I'm more of a PUBG Mobile kind of guy, but some people may care about that. Graphics settings are on HD with high frame rates for PUBG Mobile. Now I do think just moving around the software on this phone, it definitely feels a little bit slower than say my OnePlus 7 Pro, but it's also quite a bit cheaper than I paid for my OnePlus 7 Pro also. When gaming, I don't think you're going to see much of a difference. It actually plays really smooth. There's hardly any choppiness, whether you're playing PUBG Mobile, Call of Duty Mobile, or Asphalt 9. Here's some more gameplay footage, just to give you an idea of what it looks like. So overall, I can definitely see why this was one of the best-selling Android phones so far this year. My first impressions are, yeah, this is a pretty good phone for the price. It definitely checks all the boxes for having the features that you need. And so yeah, I would definitely recommend the Galaxy A51. Besides, if they're already throwing in things like free Galaxy Buds, you know it's not going to be long before they lower the price, and then it's going to be even a better deal. I think there is going to be some tough competition as the year goes on, but as of right now, I would say yeah, this is definitely one of your top choices for the $400 price range. So if you've made it this far into the video, you may want to say thanks by subscribing, and don't forget to give a thumbs up if this video was helpful. This is Brian from Fishbee Productions. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.